Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the city of Cadence, our East Coast-based city here in City Skylines 2. As always, I'm your host and creator, Legio, and if you like what you see on your screen, you should probably click the buttons down below because that'll get you more stuff that you like on your screen. At least that's how the algorithm works. I don't know. I'm not a YouTube expert. Do what you want. I'm not your dad. But I will start off this episode by telling you I have done some things off screen since the last episode. You're not going to see that work because I didn't record it, because I'm selfish like that and I'm mean to my audience. But in the last episode, what we did is we got the blueprint for our subway lines, which I think is a pretty good blueprint. We got 3 lines running through what's going to be a Brooklyn style neighborhood area through here. We expanded our road network out to here. And then we ended the episode by building ourselves a subway yard, which I'm still really in love with. I love how that looks. We had a comment from that last episode about splitting off tracks into multiple lines, how this junction right here could be a nightmare. And I can see what they're saying. I'm not an expert on subways or rails of any kind, so I'm just going to trust it. If you're bold enough to say it online, you're bold enough to take criticism if someone catches you in the comments. I'm not calling you out. Anyways, I did a lot off screen from this. So we went from this to this, and I promise this is a lot better. I think once I kind of showcase what I changed off screen, you guys will forgive me. My fans are pretty forgiving of what I do, so I feel like I can do pretty much anything at this point. I'm invincible. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you some of the things I did change from the last episode. I do have some comparison shots for you to see up here in the top left corner. I changed this road layout here. What I did is I kept the concept of a grid. The main roads are still in place. They did get some lane changes to them, so I upgraded them to bigger roads because I know traffic's going to be coming in. And then I shrunk the block size because I think that's going to work better. When I was playtesting with the original block concept I had, they were just too deep, they were too wide, and it was leaving weird gaps in places. So I just tightened things up a little bit, and I'll show you an example of what things will be like going forward. This is a sample block I did off screen using the Platter mod and some zonables and a little bit of plot the Growables. I'll still mix that in from here and there. And this is what it turned out like, and I think it's pretty good. I like it. It's nice and conformed to the block, and it does leave us a little bit of a gap for an alleyway if we want to put one in there. Not every block will have one, but it just gives us more options, in my opinion. It'll make things a little bit more interesting and dynamic. And with the tighter block sizes over here, I went ahead and I cut the old neighborhoods that we built in half with the road and just made 2 blocks into 3 blocks. And honestly, that looks more interesting to me. Well, I guess it's actually 4 blocks, but yeah, I made more blocks up there, and the same thing up here as well. But yeah, that's the major changes I did to the road layout. So yeah, I am leaving these spots right here open. These big, large patches of grass. I know it's going to go there. That's going to be a later episode. It's going to be kind of cool, hopefully. So that's pretty cool. I liked how that turned out. Let me go back to my notes here. All right, this whole episode I'm going to try to do live. So if you hear weird things in the background, it's because my animals are restless. I did adjust my noise gates on my mic, but there's construction out in front of my house right now. They're redoing a water line. So if you hear any of that, please be forgiving. You guys are pretty forgiving of what I do. I'm kind of a knucklehead doing this. So anyways, next up on the things I changed in my notes here is the highway. Put the comparison shot up top for you. I made this highway a lot more streamlined, and I added a few more entrance and exits right here, just some simple diamonds. They're not the prettiest. I can touch those up later because, yeah, I tried to keep them compact, and for some reason the rows did not want to cooperate. But I think that's more streamlined, and what I liked is when I sunk it, because that's what I also did, I sunk this into the ground, I was able to build some one-way bridges over the top just to kind of connect things up. And I think that is going to be pretty cool going forward. A little touch-up work right there. Move It came in very handy here. So yeah, this looks pretty cool. The road's got a little cattywampus on me, but overall, pretty happy with that. The next thing I did is to do this, I had to remove that rail line that was running like right in here, if you remember that. And I had to get rid of the station. This I probably should have recorded, if I'm being honest, but I didn't because I was playing around, and by the time I got it built, I was like, oh, that looks really cool. I'm not going to go back and do it again. So this is what we replaced the station with. We added some more of these apartments because I think they look really cool. Go ahead and lock these in because I forget to lock things up once in a while. And that's good. And then I added a school here using a Chinese school. Yeah, that makes sense. Chinese school in an American neighborhood. But honestly, it doesn't look all that Chinese, except for maybe these characters right here. But you have to really zoom in to see that. It also helped because, as you can see, already 800 students in there, so it helped with our elementary needs, which I'll discuss that here in a minute. And then just a few more apartment complexes, a water tower, because I thought that'd be pretty cool sitting right here along the highway, giving a nice welcome to the region. And then don't waste your water, precious. And then a police station, because crime was pretty bad, but now it's pretty good. So that's what we did at the train station. I removed it. It was kind of redundant, wasn't getting a lot of passengers anyways, and it was just an awkward spot for it. We had a rail that ran basically right along the highway, and then it connected up back to the rail out here, and then it just kind of looped around and then went downtown. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So we got rid of it and replaced it as a really redundant rail line. So this makes more sense. Next, as you could probably see, we used to have a whole bunch of suburban houses right here in Mecklenburg, and I went ahead and removed them because once I crossed over this highway with our grid, I figured this would turn into a gridded suburb. You know, this whole island or borough, I guess, probably be very, you know, Brooklyn-esque, Queens-esque. So that was a concept I came up with. And I did an experimental neighborhood right here using a couple different low residential houses. So we've got our UK detached homes, and these are cool. I love the look of these houses. What I like is A, they look awesome. B, with them being UK, they kind of fit the northeastern vibe. So they worked really well here. I like that. And then over here, I actually used the Eastern European houses. So they're a little different, but I like them. They fit in. You know, the color schemes are kind of weird, but I can live with it. I think it looks good. I think you guys will like it too. So those are the main changes. A minor change I made is over here on this road with our blue line, metro line that we built. I replaced the custom stations I did with an actual in-game station, and then just ran it and expanded this road a little bit. It just made more sense to do that because traffic was getting kind of out of hand. And, you know, it's all right. You don't have to do everything custom in this game. So that is everything that we changed. Now, let's actually get into building in this map and filling in this great space, because by the end of this episode, I'd like to have a good majority of this filled in. Let me do some setup here. I'm doing everything live, so it might be a longer episode, but I will do time skips here and there as needed. So, and I'll try to put chapters down below to certain things that I build. Probably not going to be a lot of detail going forward, but we'll see. I'm just going to work my way through this. And to work my way through it, I think the easiest thing is to get all of our services in place. And we'll just go from left to right on the tab down here, because that makes some sense. And we'll start in the roads tab. Don't really need any more roads, but we probably could preemptively put some kind of parking and bike racks in place. So let's just do that really quickly. We have this multi-level parking and a bicycle parking. And we have all these parking lots. I don't want to go crazy with parking, even though I'm terrible about having it in place. But I do think parking along the main avenues would be a good idea. So I think the parking like in the rear of a business would be a good idea. So maybe some right there, some right there. And then this is kind of a main avenue as well. I don't think there'd be parking like on the corner there, but I think what there could be, that's kind of big. Not a gravel. What about a large? Nope, that's too big. What about moderate? That's still a little big for my taste. What about medium? Medium is good. I think a parking lot right there might be nice. And we can come down this way. This will be mostly residential, so probably don't need parking there. Well, this is the main line, so why don't we put a small parking lot like right here? And I might come back and like touch this up a little bit. So that's that. There's a parking garage there, so I don't really think we need any crazy parking around the metro station. They've got that. It's not that far a walk, and there's a lot right there. That's good. Then we have another main road right here. I'm going to use this road right here. What is this? Brook Street. That's going to be my cutoff for the episode. I won't work past that. But let's see, probably somewhere around this metro station might be a good idea. Just go ahead and touch this road up. All right, I think a small parking lot might be good here. Maybe a medium. Let's go medium. And then we can just move it and nudge her over just a smidge. There you go. Oh, that's all messed up. We'll fix that later. Right now we're just preemptively putting stuff in. And then we have another metro station here. What about a small parking lot on the corner? We're going to be coming off the main road that way. Let's put it on that because the one way runs this way. Then come off that road. Just go right in. Yeah, that makes sense. And then this is where two major roads intersect. I don't think there'll be parking on these blocks. I think there'll be high demand, but I could see there being demand for parking in this area. So why don't I bring an alley road down, go into our parking, and we can just put a small parking lot like right here, because I'm sure businesses are going to want parking in this area at some point. Let me just trim the tail off right there. So that'll be fine for now. Okay. And I think a parking lot near this would be a pretty good idea. Not a big one. Actually, yeah, one of these whole lots can be dedicated to parking because what's going to go there is going to need it anyways. So let's see, will a large lot work? Large lot's going to be perfect. Because a very large lot, way too big. Let's go large lot. And we're going to just put it right there. And that's good. We can even do a little bit of detail work. Pick our little picker, London plane, and I think we can just go into our advanced line tool. Use some of that and a little bit of that. And then just to rough it up a little bit, we're going to go into our decals and find our stains. And there you go, a low cost, low effort parking lot that I think looks good. And since it's next to a subway station, they probably would charge parking. I think $10 is fine. I'm gonna call that $1. Who knows what it is? Simoleons. Okay, I think parking is good for now. Moving down our tab, next is electricity. I don't think we need to deal with electricity at all because, as you'll see, we have a ton. And I'm importing some, but that's not due to lack of production. That's just how the city's laid out. As things start getting connected up, that'll work itself out. But water, I can add some things of water. Let's go into the info tab and click there. We have plenty of water availability. We're not importing or trading, which I don't care about because I don't care about money. I will run this so far into the red, you'll think that we're the US economy right now. Sewage treatment is good, and we're not exporting any of our poop. So I'm okay with all that. One sec, water break. All right, yeah, still getting over that that illness, so I'm trying to stay hydrated. But I can go ahead and lose my train of thought. I can add some water towers. A, they're visual, and B, you know, that will happen throughout. And I playing around, I found this water tower, and I think it looks awesome. And I had an idea of where it could go. I was thinking it could go like one of these little triangular lots, and then just grab and move it. I can move it right into place, and that looks pretty cool. Because otherwise, this space is pretty, in City Skylines, that's like dead space. You won't get a lot of use out of it, but putting a nice little water tower there is pretty cool. It also adds entertainment, so lucky us. And then I'm just gonna add some, just gonna add a little bit of foliage. Probably overdoing it a little bit, but it's okay. And then I'm in love with oaks, but not that big of an oak. I think a smaller oak is good. And then snap into the street. It's annoying. And then we'll just put a pine. That's not a pine, that's a birch. Birch looks good too. Okay. And there's that. I think one more water tower somewhere would be a good idea. We did the Netherlands. We already have a northeastern. What about an Eastern European somewhere? Like up here. Is there a good spot for it up here? They're like a dead zone. Oh, actually, right next to this parking lot would be a good idea. You can just set it like it's one tile. So you can just set it like right there. Yeah. And it's brick. Anything brick works for the Northeast, in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I could probably fit a few more of those around the city without an issue, which if I have some dead space, I might just do that, because why not? Okay, next, going down, we have healthcare and deathcare. So as you can see, we have very little problems of death right now. Oh, I need to hit play. That's part of the reason we don't have problems. I don't know why I was still on pause. So they're waiting for a hearse, but I haven't had bad death problems yet. Knock on whatever wood we have around, but we're gonna plan for it. Oh, that was another change I made. Over here, I had a cemetery. It got changed up. I'm going to move this back over here. And then to detail it, because I lost my train of thought. I had an ADHD moment. Give me that fence. And then what I typically will do is to detail these, I grab my pathways, I grab my pedestrian pavement path, and I'll just draw a nice little path. So we can just draw one like here, go into freeform, and it can kind of follow things. And then we can go close that, come in here, and then go props. Now I go tombstones, let it load, and I will go find the random tombstone. Using our advanced line tool, I set my distance from 2 meters, and then I rotate them to whatever fits, 90 degrees or 0, whatever. There you go. And don't click out. I always have a habit of clicking out. And then I just kind of fill the space in, so I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, and then we close that down real quick, because otherwise it gets goofy. And then we go and grab some trees, and we just put some trees in and around. And like I said, I really love oaks in this game. I could have put some more tombstones down here. I guess I can do that real quick. Grab our London plains and just add some trees in, because, you know, the dead probably want some shade from the sun. They're outside all day. Okay, and then that's that. But for more death care, we need to add some in here, and I think we will start actually with healthcare, not death care. And I'm going to add some clinics, and I think there's going to be a hospital that needs to go in here as well. We have this hospital over here, which is going to get reworked in a little bit. I'm not doing any work up here today, but when we cross this highway, this will get revamped. So enough getting off track. Let's build a hospital, and I'm thinking the hospital can go like right in here. So why don't I pause the game real quick, blow up these roads, and then go in and let's find us a nice big hospital. Let's see, what's in this? This is kind of good. I don't know why it's snapping the way it is. Oh, yes, I do, because I messed up the snapping. And there's extensions it can get. We'll just go ahead and put those on. And then what I can do is come in and grab our alleyway. And we can, nope, that is not how I want that to go. Snap to the side of the building, stay at your 90, and then sometimes I overshoot the road to get a 180. Sometimes it's easier than just snapping it directly into the road. And then there's that. And now for a hospital this size, it's going to need a garage. So let's go back into our parking spaces and find the multi-level parking building. And I'm thinking I have to go up here to my zoning tools and fix the roads real quick. And then we'll go right back in and we'll grab another one and upgrade it as well. Okay, so that is a lot of parking. Now what we can do is come in, and I think we can probably actually upgrade this, have this come in at a 90, upgrade this road, clear that little piece off right there, run this up, have an exit out, and then yeah, this makes some sense, I guess. And then right here, this is kind of an awkward spot, but what I think would be good is if we just put some offices in here. Now let's see what grows. If it's too tall, yeah, that's too tall. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So let me go in here, rezone that real quick. I want to find it. And then we'll just go into the office tab and see what we get. Because I like to have offices near these hospitals. Just, I don't want them too big. Like this is actually pretty good. And it makes sense. You know, doctor's offices would be nearby. So let's see, that is a lot of, just go 3x2 and see what we have in offices here. I can hit play. I keep defaulting and not hitting play. Let's see, what fits the theme here best? Not a lot. I can see, what if I turn? No, that's not working. Oh, low offices be pretty good in this space here. So then we can actually knock that down to 2x2. Gives us a lot of options. Kind of like these Southwest offices. Yeah, there we go. We'll put that there, and then what we can squeeze in right here is parking. Just gotta find the right lot size. Yeah, that'll work. Perfect. Perfect. Not my usual high detail work, but this will work. And then we can go back in and we can find us more office. Actually, we'll see what zoning gets us, because, you know, I don't know. I think the Southwest is going to be my best option. We'll see what it builds. I do have super fast building turned on, so that should give us results. Okay, I like this. I don't like repeat buildings. I think what I can do is I can get rid of these two buildings, come in and single row parking. Single row parking can fit in here. So I'll just go ahead and delete that, grab it, just move it over. And then this can kind of just turn it around and put it right next to it. How's that look? I think it'll be all right. Yeah, this should be all right. I think, Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and just start filling it in with trees then and see how that looks. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good from a distance. Now the main question is, how do we connect it up to this main road? And I think I have an answer for that. We're just gonna go in here and grab a one-way and connect it like this, and then connect it. Okay, it's doing that dumb thing again, and connect it kind of like that. Okay, that took me a second to get that entrance built, but you know, there's the hospital. It's nothing too great, but I think this looks pretty good. I like it. So that's going to do a lot of coverage for this area, and I think it being right next to this metro line is a good spot for it. It's on a main road, and the entrance is a little wonky, but I think it's all right. Yeah, it'll be all right. I don't see any real issues with it. What I can do is just add... Nah, it's fine as it is. We're going to move on, but we do still need some more spread out healthcare. So I think we are going to put some clinics around and about, and I'm going to mix things up a little bit. So I think in this space would be a pretty good spot for a clinic. I think right here on this two-way road would be good next to the metro line as well. So we're going to put the Netherlands small district medical clinic. Pretty good, and I think it's going to need a parking lot. So let's give it a parking lot, single row. I need something that's better. Yeah, I'd like this to be a little smaller, but we're going to work with it. I need more variations on parking lots. I really do. Okay, so there's that medical clinic. Let's see what's next. The Southwest Medical Clinic. This one's kind of a big boy. Do I want it to take up a whole block? I don't think I do. What about the Japanese? Japanese one takes a little over a whole block. The Modern Medical Clinic looks pretty good, and it doesn't take up a whole block. Yeah, let's go with the Modern Medical Clinic, and I think right there would be good. Does it have upgrades? I can't remember what has upgrades and what doesn't. Additional beds, we're probably going to want that, and then a wing. That looks good, and then I think it needs a parking lot as well. What about small? Small doesn't work. Long parking lot's perfect. Almost perfect. I'll live with it being right there. It's a little annoying. And then on this backside, I think apple trees just to fill in that space. Maybe one or two in there. A couple lindens here and there. And then a nice little pine tree. There you go. Now we have the medical clinic there. And then to detail it a little bit, we're going to just put some stains around. Okay. And that's that medical clinic. So that's pretty centrally located. So we have a medical clinic here, a hospital here, medical clinic here. I think maybe something in this little area right here, and that should be good for medical. Is it modern? It's the basic. Northeastern? How would the northeastern look? Northeastern along that main road right there might be pretty good. Let's actually flip the sides though. I think along this street makes a little bit more sense. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and give it its expansions because why not? And then I think a modest, no, let's go small. Small parking lot might be good for here. Yep. And then I think we'll just move it and nudge it on over. There we go. All right, that looks good. So now we have clinics where we need them, I think, because this one's there. There's a pretty big gap right here, but that hospital can cover some ground, and it can handle it. Super. Now, as for garbage management, we go in here. Let's see, where is the garbage? Am I blind? Am I blind? No, there it is. All right, we have plenty of garbage processing. Sorry, water break. Stay hydrated, y'all. Plenty of garbage management because we still have still have this over here, just this incineration plant, and it's just doing work. It is really doing some work, so I don't need much in the way of garbage. But what I do like to add in are these small city recycling centers, because these things are so cute to just put in here. And I think they make a lot of sense when you put them near residents, like near where people live, because they can just drop their stuff off, or collection. So we'll just put one like right there in the middle of things. Might make sense to have it. Ooh, right here be a good little spot. If I can get it to snap. Turn snapping off so I can fit it where I want it. Some of these roads don't have proper zoning because I got lazy with the zoning thing. And we can put you like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then let's see, we'll go back in and we'll add another. I think having one like way over here would be good. Let's see, maybe like literally right up against it. Let's turn snapping back on. Just put it like right there. Yeah, that'll work. Let's go in. Oh well. Just want to get a little closer to that road, and that's pretty good right there. And that'll just kind of take the stress off of things. What are you complaining about? Low supplies? You're fine. Get over it. Okay. So I think that might be good. And you know what? I'll add one more up in this area. Yeah. We'll add it like right here. Right underneath the highway. Well, it's not a highway, the main road, but that makes sense. Cool. Fantastic. So moving on, the most important thing that we're going to have to do now is education. So let's click on our little graduation cap here. Actually, let's go look. We need elementary schools really badly because we have just over 9,000 eligible and we only have 6,600, basically 6,700 available. So let's go ahead and add some. And I want to kind of change up what we're going to use here. The problem is some of these are really large, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Let's get out of this view. And I think we can just dedicate a whole block to some of them, like this one right here. I think that'd be fine. This UK primary school, how many does it? Capacity of 500, so that'll help a little. That looks cool. I like it. Actually, yeah, let's move this ever so closer to this metro station over here so it's not as far a walk. Go ahead and give it its upgrades because I'm an upgrade machine. And then it's going to need some parking. And instead of just slapping random parking down, I might go into parking lot roads. This has been kind of a nice little cheat for me. Which one do I want to use? The one angled alley? Yeah, let's do the one angled alley. Let me just run it up like that. Yep, that'll work. It's a little close for my taste, so what we'll do is we'll just use move it, grab the nodes, and pull it back just a smidge. Okay, and every school needs playground equipment. This has none in it. So, in here, let's just jump in to find it. And play. Playground mountain. Oh, that's kind of weird. Another mountain. Playground set. There you go. Put one in that corner, one in that corner. Put playground decal. Actually, playground decal might be where it's at. Let's do this. Okay, and now we can go ahead and delete these. Don't need those two. It looks a little wonky, but it's fine. Go back in to move it. Filters. Take that off. Take the surfaces off. Grab props. Put the props in, and then there is that. And then we can put a play cabin, I guess. I don't know. And then they always need swings. So let's look up a swing. Just go random, so I'm not playing favorites here. And then we can do this. Nah, there's that. And then, I don't know. That should be fine. That should be fine. Yeah, it looks a little awkward, but we're going to say this is like an older school, and then they just added the playground in later. And then to detail this backside is more than simple. We're just going to take flowers, advanced line tool. And we're going to go into our single, and we're going to put some birches. Birches are cool. We're going to do some lindens. The lindens are cool. London planes would fill that up pretty nice as well. And then top it off with everyone's favorite oak trees. All right, that looks pretty good. The last bit I'm going to do is come in and just add some stains. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, super. So there is one elementary school. It took us a little while to detail, but it's pretty cool. And it is providing us 1,050, and it's already at capacity, so we need more. Cool. Hopefully I don't have to detail near as much. This is the Northeastern Elementary School, so obviously we're going to have that in here somewhere. I'm thinking down in here maybe, and I think we can probably just give this put it like right in the middle of the block, and then go ahead and do it gets full upgrades. Let's put it there, and then, because that's what the extension wing, yeah. It can get one extension wing, and then we're going to move it down a little. And then we can put the adventure playground in, so now I don't have to put a playground in. And that should be good. It's going to need parking. I think I'm just going to use a small little parking lot. Is that going to work? That'll work. And we just have that parking all there. And then we're going to come in, move it, and just move things as we need. And then we can put some pine trees on here just to touch things up a smidge. And then, of course, what would it be if I don't put my oak tree in? Maybe a linden or two. I always forget to put like the smaller plants in. Okay, that's pretty good. And then this is super simple. We're just going to take one of these large stain decals, put that in. Kind of transitions into the grass weird, but you know what? I can fix that pretty easily. I can just come in and cultivate a flower, use our advanced line tool, reduce our spacing, and just real quick. Yep. Yep. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So there's that. And it is already got almost 700 kids out of 1,500. And it's giving us some outdoor rec with some well-being. Fantastic. There's that. Let's look at our info at our education. And we're basically right where we need to be. So let's future-proof a little bit then. So we did the Northeastern. How's the French elementary school look? You know, I actually kind of like it. It's going to be like a private school is what we're going to say. You wouldn't see this as like a public school by any means, but private school, absolutely. And I think like, let's just give it this whole block right here. It can pretty much have this whole block. It does have extension wings. It has that expansion. I just do that. And then I think it can just have a nice big old parking lot in the back. So let's see which one is going to fit the best. Medium? Medium fits. It's facing away from the school, but I'm okay with that. And then we can just go into our parks and rec real quick, and we can add a little pocket park. And if we can find one that fits. A little too big. Activity playground? Activity playground is perfect. And now they have a little playground in there. Kind of makes sense. Oh, I have an idea for that. And then what we'll do is we'll just fill this in with some paths. Yeah, well, a nice little walking path. Snapping is still off. Good. So that can run like that. And that can run along there. Okay, that looks good. Go into vegetation, grab some bushes, and just kind of fill it in. That, and of course, oak. Trade oak in this place. Bam, bam, bam. That looks pretty good. You know what I might do to save myself some time? We're going to go into the surface tool. Going to grab this medium stain. We're going to use our fill bucket. I didn't get to use this for a while because it broke. It would crash my game every time I try to use it, but the latest update fixed it. And that looks pretty sweet. That looks very sweet. Yeah, that looks really good. Now, I had an idea for this. Let's go into our decals, and we're going to use some of our wall art. Come in here. Yeah, that's good. That's interesting. Okay, I spent way too much time on that. So there's that. Is it even getting kids? 0 kids. It's okay. It will get kids soon. So let's see our capacity now. All right. I think one more elementary school, and then we're going to move on to high schools. So we're moving down. This suburban school is really big and not fit for the area I'm building in. So that's Northeast Elementary School. Town and elementary. That's not what we're looking for. This Chinese one always works for me. Okay, where would it go? I think right in here would be a good spot for it. It can even face there. Let's see if this this northeastern one actually works. I'm going to do this one. We have one already in the school, or one of these in our city, but it's fine. Go ahead and upgrade it because I know it's going to need it. And then, let's see. I think on the back here, we're going to go sports parks, and we are going to put some basketball courts. Well, one basketball court. That makes sense. Yeah, because the soccer field's too big. American football's too big. Large parks. Anything that works there. Yeah, it'd be all right. Parks and Rec. Don't think we need to do much else besides giving them some parking. And I think we're going to do what we did with one of the other schools and find this angled parking and just run it like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that does look pretty good. And what that did is it proved I can fit another basketball court if I can select the right thing here. Hold on, losing my mind. Sports parks, basketball court, and turn snapping off. It's being dumb again. We can just put it right there. Okay. And then to detail things up, what I like, these basketball courts are great besides the coloring. I'm going to live with the coloring for right now because you can put decals over the top of these, but it does kind of bug me. And what I'm going to do, actually, tool, rotate. I want to face it like that. Oh, it can't work that way. Whatever. Not a big deal. Okay, so there's that. And then, of course, I'm going to have to come in here. We'll go surfaces. Let's go large stain just to change things up a little bit. And there's that. And then thin, and just double down. There, it's a nice, dirty parking lot. Okay, now we've got elementary schools placed. Let's go ahead and do some high schools. And Urban Elementary High School, Mediterranean Elementary. Let's do this Eastern European High School. And then these, let's see. They wouldn't be too far, I feel, from elementary schools. So let's go ahead and put this like over here. Is it going to fill this whole block? It does. And the snapping is weird because of my zoning tools. So let me see if I can't fix it real quick. Give me one sec. All right, we got that fixed. Sorry. I really messed with the zoning tools off screen. Okay. Now we got that. Let's go ahead and do our extensions because I know for a fact that we're going to need a lot of high school. And we have this whole block to work with, and this is sports hall. We're going to put that on the backside over here because then what we can do is for parking, medium parking lot, let's place that and then delete this, go back in, and then we can just drop it down again. Okay, let's go back into the parking. There, I had to get a little creative with it. So there it is. Now the gym is just across the parking lot. It adds a little bit of character. And then what this is going to allow me to do is go into my parks tab, and we don't need a large park. We can find, let's see, that's a 3x4. I bet I can find something small park. No, that's not going to work. Dog park. Dog park works. Yep. And we filled that space with a dog park. So good for us. Now let's go into our detailing again, and we'll just change things up. We're going to go medium stain and just drop it on there. There. Okay. Yeah, that looks a lot better when you add those in. And then we're going to go ahead and take some of these crosswalks off right here. It's kind of pointless to have those there, because if you're going to go to the school, you're going to use those crosswalks. There's that high school. Let's get another high school. Let's think about this though. So we have an elementary school here. I think a high school over here would be pretty good. And yeah, near this big space might not be a bad idea. I might rework an entire block. It depends on how big the high school is going to be. Let's see. Southwest Elementary School now. How big is this? Ooh, that's really nice looking. And it comes with parking. Because I'm a sucker for parking. Okay. Let's demolish this road because the zoning is messed up. Okay, got that. And then come in and smack it down right there. That'll work. Yeah, it's pretty good looking. Now let's see what happens when we put the extensions on it. Oh, that looks really cool. And then the extension wing goes on. Oh, that is spectacular. I love it. Yeah, that is a really good looking building. Absolutely love it. So then what we can do is we can just kind of manufacture our own little space here. Snapping is off. We can do that. We can do this. And then just kind of let those meet kind of like that. And you can come through kind of like that. Perfect. I like that. I like that. And then we'll just take some trees and filler on in. We'll start with our bushes. So what I'm going to do for this, turn Anarchy off, reduce my brush size, and just drive through. And then every lot gets an oak. Bam, bam. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That does look pretty good. Now the students, you know, can walk through there. And now that I'm thinking about it, we can go ahead and add a pathway that leads. Yeah, we can add a pathway right here. So, and it extended out the surface. That's a little annoying. See if I can't fix that real quick. Okay, like that's just a little wider. And then we can come in here, go into our pathways. Invisible pedestrian path will allow us to do that. Okay, that should work. That should work. And we lost some trees in the devastation, so we'll do that. And of course, a big old oak and another oak. God, those are just the best looking trees. So there's another high school. Fantastic. Let's zoom out. City's doing okay. City is doing okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add in more Deathcare. That's what I forgot to do. Why did none of you remind me about that? So we have some new Deathcare stuff. Let's look at it. How fitting would it be to put a crematorium right across the street from children? I'm gonna do it. Watch me, I'm gonna do it. And it's got an upgrade, additional car park. I don't think we're gonna need that. That's pretty good as is. Yeah, that's really good as is. And then on the back side, I think just easy parking, wide parking lot. Oh, I bet I can fit this if I use Move It. So theoretically, they can pull in off there. They can pull in there. Oh, wow, that node is really messed up. So that works. We just need to pull you back a little, I think. Much better. Much better. And then we're going to go back in here and just ever so slightly move you back that way. Come back here. There we go. Yep, that looks good-ish. Just a little more there. Now we're good. Now I'm happy. And then we'll go ahead and just add our oaks right off the top. Get our wild tree brush. Turn Anarchy off. Okay. And then just the real simple, go into the surfaces. We'll stick with the medium. We're just going to use the fill. And do a big drop. And we're going to take this up to that corner there. Create that corner there. I do this because I like the look of it. You guys don't have to do this. I'm doing more detailing than I originally planned on, but it's fine. So now we have another Deathcare facility. That should be pretty good for this area here. I might add one more down here. Do I have a really small one though? French crematorium, if I remember, is really small. Yeah, that is really small. Oh, we can fit it on this lot right here. Perfect. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. Because I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to have to do a park because everyone does there. Everyone does parks, but I don't have to do that. So it's really cool. And then we can probably fit in that small little parking lot right there. We just move it to do that a little bit. No, I'll just grab this building, move it all the way over because I'm pretty sure I can just remove these sub elements right here. And then just nudge. How much room do you think they need to pull out? Jeez, you know what? That's fine. Small parking spot right there. Small parking spot. And then we're just gonna hit the fill with this as well. Because why would a crematorium have a clean parking lot? All right, that might be good going forward. So we got healthcare, we have education. We are holding off on college education for a while. We don't necessarily need it right now. Well, we do, because if you look, we don't have any, and there's almost 3,000. Oh, there's over 6,000 people, about 6,000 people that want it, but they can just go somewhere else for right now. We don't need to put the college in just yet, in my opinion. And that really tanked our money. Yes, it did. That is fine. I'm going to see how low we can go. Now, let's do some fire. I really like this Northeastern Firehouse because you see these a lot in big cities, just very similar style buildings. You see them a lot, especially on corners. So I'm probably going to put them on corners a whole bunch. They don't have any upgrades. Actually, I think it makes more sense. There's a parking lot right there. I can probably put them right there, and then I can just move this parking lot to there, and then use and move it. We can just touch things up a little bit. So yeah, that works. So I'm going to put a few of these around. I really like the look of these. They make a lot of sense. Going to probably keep them on main roads for the most part, or if they are going to be near, if they're not going to be on the main road, they're going to be somewhat near them so they can get where they need to go pretty quick. So let me go ahead and just place a few of these around. Down here would be pretty good. I like it. I like them near these metro stations. Pretty good. I might just back them off ever so slightly though. Yeah, I like them near these metro stations because that way firefighters can just have a nice, easy way to get to work. And I think two more. Maybe one up near the hospital. No, that one's pretty close. Never mind. One over here, maybe. We can probably put them like right on the corner, and it acts as a nice little cap that goes into a bridge because a big building won't work there anyways. And then I'm thinking maybe one like down here in this corner. You know what? It works right there. Kind of makes sense. Firefighters typically are paramedics. So that could be good for our fire coverage. We can add one big one real quick. I say big one. Probably won't be that massive. So we could, the standard's not bad. What about this Netherlands one? Netherlands one might be pretty good. And I think somewhere along here. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, and I don't want to put on this main road because this is going to clog up eventually. So I think that's pretty good right there. It can have a helicopter on top. Why not? And extra bay vehicles. Perfect. Like it. We're running with it. So that's that. Also in this tab, we have disaster control. I don't worry about disasters. I have them turned off. I mean, this looks ridiculous to me. Emergency shelters, like they're fine. They might be good for building a military base, but I'm not going to use them here. All right, now for police. We're good on police coverage right now. Not so much on prison availability, but we can just outsource it. Average crime is still in the green. Quick water break. So, not too worried about how I place these. They seem to cover quite a bit of ground. I really like the Northeast police stations, how they look. But I also like these Dutch, the German ones. They look pretty sweet as well. So I might place a German one around here. Where is, I know there's a police station near there, but with this area right here, I think right here on this lot would be pretty good. If I can get to snap how I want it. I'm gonna have to demolish the road and rebuild it. 1 second. Okay, so I got that, put it right there in that corner. Yeah, that looks really cool. Like with the Northeast build, just so much works for it. Oh, that's pretty sweet looking. Additional floor space, that's cool. Just so much works for the Northeast, because you have so many different cultures that came into the Northeast, so they all kind of end up, you know, they all end up working. It's like a hodgepodge of stuff, but they all harmonize really well together. That looks good like that. So they are good. They are good. And I think, oh, that's the wrong tab. And I think we're gonna need more. The city police station looks pretty good for a Northeast thing, I think, as well. On the same road. Yeah, we don't need it on the same road. I think it near a metro station would be good as well. Oh, next to this big parking lot might be good. It's on a one-way, but whatever. They can loop. That'd be fine. And then a helipad. Sure, why not? Yeah, that could be like the precinct head. And you got a big parking lot right there that they can use. And then we'll just fill in that gap with some foliage real quick. And the helicopter took off. Cool. And then, of course, you know what I'm about. Oak. All right, that looks pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. And then, you know, one more police station up here might be a good idea. And for that, I might just go back to our northeastern one. That they just look good. I like them. Maybe on the back side here. If I can get it to snap properly. It does not want to snap properly. Give me a second. Oh, I know the problem is. I have this road messed up. 1 sec. There we go. Now it worked. And let's see. The upgrade to this is, yeah, that's pretty cool. And what we can do to give them a little bit of additional parking is we can just run a 2-lane. Oh, that's a little wide, isn't it? It's not going to snap properly. Don't I have... There we go. That was the one I was thinking of. We'll just run it like that. And now they have their own little parking. And what I can do to fix this up over here, because that's ugly, we just cover it in trees. Because not much is going to get built back here anyways. So we'll just say that this wasn't really buildable land and live with it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so we got police. Now, back into this tab. we are going to go into the administration. So the things we need to think about is like a town hall and stuff like that. Sorry, water break. So there's a few that I like the Japanese City Hall is pretty sweet in my opinion. It comes with a bunch of parking for it. So that might be good to put in here. And it's a city hall, so it is going to be on a main road. So I want to find a plot of land. Oh, right there is perfect. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, a plot of land where it takes up a good space. It's not too grand. This actually looks more like an office building, so that's good. I might actually flop it over here. Yeah, it fills that lot a lot better. Perfect. And it's near the metro, so it doesn't look like an American style city hall, but it can be some kind of administrative building. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't feel like building anything too crazy. And put my oak trees in, and we're gonna put some spruces in as well. I don't use a lot of spruces, so probably need to. And then we'll go thin, and we'll just dunk that in right like that. So we got that in. All right, back into our administration tab. So the Japanese City Hall was great. Now we have a modern. Sorry, a little bit of a burp. I'm gonna edit that out. No, I won't. Live with it. Live with my mistakes. We have a modern city hall. Oh, I guess I could have covered this. So the Japanese City Hall makes things cheaper to import and helps us on loan. So that's pointless. This is mostly an aesthetic placement. Same for that city hall as well. In fact, I think that's what they all do. We do have the central bank, but this is going to go in our downtown. This terminal bank is sweet. That's going to go in downtown as well. We do have some welfare offices though, and those are going to be pretty crucial. And you want these either near where it's going to be low income or very central. And I think like right here is a good spot. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking building. No expansions, nothing crazy, but it does leave some room on the back. So what I might do for the back is, right there, I might use Platter for the first time in this build. So let's go Platter. That's going to be about let's go 2x4. And then we're going to go in, we're going to find some mixed housing, and the northeastern might be good here. I might be able to sneak a 3x4 in there. Let's see what builds. Nothing is building. Is it because there's not demand? Because that can't be the case. There's always demand. Let's just do that. Okay, that's building. Might not be. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Fine. I'm going to use move it to grab this and just move it over ever so slightly though. There's that. And then right in the middle of things, I think we can just put some trees, add a spruce. There you go. And then on this backside here, I think this can be some residential. So let's go into Platter. And then the depth just has to be 2. So we have 4x2. I'm going to go into housing. Then we're going to go medium. And go medium density row housing. And we can just hit there. And then we're going to reduce the size. 3x2 should be good. And we got some housing. Okay. And let's see. I don't know why I did that. Now we have this weird little gap here. What I can do is I can just use a plot the growable, go into buildings. Okay, it took me a second to get where I needed to go, but I got where I needed to go. And we're just gonna plop one of those, make it make sense. And I keep grabbing the platter by accident. I want this building. Let's just do this. Grab you, put you like right there, and then we can move the platter back. And then that should be good, because I can just put that in there. And then go back, reduce the lot depth by 2, and we'll just snap that in. I kind of like the northeastern or the North American styles enough, just not enough to like spam them everywhere. And then that should be that. Oop. Okay. Kind of cuts into the sidewalk though, doesn't it? There, that's better. That should work. And then we're gonna come in and just put some flowers and everything through here. Come through with some birch. Pop, 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 pop. And yeah, just look at that. Doesn't that, it just looks nice. Just nice. Let's go medium. Fill bucket. Do that. And then take the fill bucket off. You can remove some of these points. And just take it there. Remove that point. Remove that point. And there you go. Doesn't that look good? We can even jazz it up a little bit more. Go into our decals. Find a puddle. Wet sand always looks good in my opinion. We can go wheat grass. Stains. And there you go. That's more than enough. That is more than enough detail for that. And there's one welfare office. And we can go ahead and add a few more. So we just did the Eastern European, Japanese one. That feels more like suburbia. Citizen Service Center. That look like that's pretty big. But I think it might work. You know where this could go is right in here. Is it going to work on this lot here? No, it's just a smidge too big, but where it can probably work is snapping to this road right here for later use. And there's no upgrades to it, but it's there, and I can build around that. So that's pretty good. I broke my rule, I went past that road. Okay, I think, oh, that's the wrong tab. I think that is community kindergarten. I haven't looked at this yet. Oh, that's kind of a cool looking building. Let me look at you. Let me look at you. All right, this would be good on a corner lot, I think. Methinks good. Methinks it'd be good on corner lot. So it's not snapping to the road yet. Well, I really messed up the zoning on this, didn't I? So let me delete that road. A nice 180 back in here, and now it's snapping to it. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Looks cool. I mean, a little awkward for this not being in Chinatown, I guess, but that's pretty cool. And what does it do? Well-being and outdoor rec. Yeah, that's nice. And then right next door, we can, I guess we can put some low-density commercial next to it. Let's use Platter for that. So that's what, 3 by 3. Let's go 3 by 4. Go in. Low density commercial, and we have the North American low density business, and plop it and see what we get. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So yeah, because what we can now do over on this side is medium density row housing, and just zone that in and see what we get there. Beautiful. Because now what we can do is we can just make a makeshift alley. We go into our pavement. Pavement surface 1 is the one I like to use. And there you go, a makeshift alley. And then you can, if you're feeling real fancy, you can go in your pathways and use this invisible road. And I turn all the snapping off when I'm using this invisible road. It's just a good practice I use. And there you go. Now you have an alleyway. If you really, really are feeling froggy, you can go with dropping in a little bit of love on the surfaces. And then just run it up like that. And there you go. There you go. How does that look? I think it looks pretty good. You know, bit of an awkward turn, but due to it being a dark surface, that makes it look like it's its own road. And then what you can do is come in thin and just fill that in like that, and it looks like a natural transition, right? Looks good. Alrighty guys, so we have all the main services in place. All that's really left to do for this episode is to fill everything in with some zoning. And along with that is going to be the parks that I haven't placed yet, because I kind of build the parks off of where the residences are going to be. So that just kind of made sense to hold off. We also didn't bother with the transportation. So like buses and stuff like that. We're going to hold off on that till probably the next episode, because I want to get things filled in and then we'll start running bus lines, and that could be a lot of fun. But before we dive into zoning things out and getting some people moving into the space, I want to readdress this hospital that I built. I don't like it. I think we can do a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into a time lapse and get this replaced, because this is awkward and I think we can do better. So let me go ahead and do that real quick.
Run it up.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That looks a million times better. I'm very happy with this. It fits into the footprint a lot better, and it just looks a lot cleaner. I was able to squeeze in a modern medical clinic down here. We'll say that was like an extension that they had to add due to the demand of services, or this is like special treatment, something of the sorts. And I was able to integrate our parking garage with a nice covered footbridge that the game did not like, and it yelled at me quite a bit, but it's there and it's going to have to deal with it. So that is all the main services. Now we had to begin the tedious task of filling in this grid, and it's going to be done with a mixture of zoning, PLop the Growables, and a whole bunch of Platter. And we're going to get as much done as we possibly can. I'm going to set a timer and see what we can't get done. I don't know if I'll get this all done, but I think we can get a pretty good chunk of this done. So let's go ahead and just dive in, and yeah, we'll see what we get.
Shows, yeah. Show me your weird and your dirty sides, and I'll show you mine. When things get crazy, or all is carefree, they know you're fizzing all your hope up. They guard your secrets. No need for asking, they just show up. Don't need no reason. Sharing the minds and sharing the dark days, share the joys and more. That's what a best friend. That's what a best friend's for. It's like you've been living inside my mind. The way you get me, you see parts of me I tend to hide. Yeah, we'll be as forget all the punchlines, yeah. What are the odds that I come to find someone so alike? When things get crazy, or all is carefree, they know your fears and all your hope up. They guard your secrets. No need for asking, they just show up. Don't need no reason. Sharing the minds and sharing the dark days, share the joys and more. That's what a best friend, that's what a best friend's for. Let them know what they mean to ya. If you got a real one, hit them up, cause best friends bring out the best in us. If you got a real one, hit them up. Let them know what they mean to ya. If you got a real one, hit them up, cause best friends bring out the best friends, bring out the best friends, best friends, best friends bring out the...
Alrighty guys, so we are about halfway through this time lapse, so now is as good a time as any to go ahead and interject my voice and make some comments on what you've been watching on your screen. And most of what you've been watching has been me spamming the same assets over and over, and the reason for that is threefold. The first reason is pretty practical in that doing this covers a lot of ground and fills in this grid rather quick. And I am a little behind schedule of where I want to be with this city, so that is helping me catch up. The second reason is you do see repetitive buildings throughout North American cities. There are blocks in major cities where you'll just see the same building over and over and over, which then leads into the third in-game reason, and that's when a city such as Cadence has a major population boom. I'm talking an explosion of people coming into the city all at once. The city is going to task the developers to build as quickly and as ergonomic as they possibly can, and you'll get designs like this. So there's a reason I did all that. It also saved me a lot of time on detail work. But I did do my best effort to try to keep the blocks interesting and unique here and there, such as these French apartment buildings I placed in. I believe these are lower residential actually, so it helps me in that little area as well. And I love the look of those apartment buildings. They feel like they fit in rather well. Even though they're from France, I feel like they can fit in just about any North American city. I've seen apartments like that in Chicago, or at least very similar. And I've also seen them in St. Louis, very similar style to that. So I would imagine that they fit in here as well. They look good, especially whenever I use Move It to splice them together and add a little bit of detail. They look really good, especially when you zoom out. I do kind of wish that I could have used the Recolor mod on them and make them red or something like that. But the tan also looks good, so I'm going to just go with that. And now I am coming back to this hospital because I couldn't leave Good alone. Good wasn't good enough. And I expand on the campus a little bit. You saw me place down the medical research facility on the back side, and it filled in that block really well. It just filled that gap in perfectly. It and with a little bit of surface work and some trees here and there, it looks really good. And then off to the side along this main road, I went ahead and added in the hospital from the China pack. And this fits in really well, especially after I use that cover bridge to kind of link the buildings up and make them look more uniform, more homogeneic. Yeah, homogeneic is a good word. That's what we're going with. And then I just add some detail and some flare touches to it. It's a really good looking asset. I just wasn't a big fan of the entrance there. That's right alongside Daisy Field Street. It looked a little bland in my opinion, so we just jazzed it up the best we could. And from this point, I start filling in the blocks with whatever looks good, primarily office buildings and commercial here and there, because I don't want industry on this section at all. I'm gonna dedicate a whole episode to adding in a whole bunch of industry. And like I said, I do what I can to keep things interesting. So I add a huge apartment complex here, and then I fill in this weird angle gap by using a playground, some motorcycle parking, and then a bicycle storage lot, or building, I guess you could say. And we're just gonna say that's all associated with that building right there. And then I had a little bit of fun using some of the wall art, just decorating this giant brick canvas, because there's no way that this building would go untagged. Yeah, there's just no way. Graffiti artists would have a field day with this building right here. And I think it looks cool. I just had a little bit of creative liberty with it and just put in what I think looks good. I probably need to get on the PDX workshop and grab a few more wall art items to have some differences, because I've had the same wall art pieces for quite a while. And like I said, I'm filling in these spots as best I can with what items I have. Mostly the North American apartment buildings are coming in, and they fill in. They do a really good job. They also really crank up that population. As you can see, the number at the bottom of your screen is starting to soar. And if you're paying close attention, you'll see 100 taxis just flying here and there. And that's one big gripe I do have with this game. Everyone comes in by taxi, which leads to a lot of dummy traffic here and there. I used a mod to try to adjust the dummy traffic because it just got to a point that was unrealistic for me. Even though I think I am bringing a lot of this abuse on myself, because I sit here and then I fill in all of this. Like, I do a massive amount of housing, just cramming it all in one go. And of course, people have to come from somewhere, so they're coming from the outside connections moving in, and it just causes major traffic problems. I fix a lot of that off screen. I do a lot of my little fixes off screen, so I don't bore you guys with it, because it's just tedious little work of adjusting roads here and there. And sometimes you'll have a vehicle that just gets stuck for whatever reason, so you have to go in with a better bulldozer and remove it. Nothing too terrible. It's just a time stake task, and it's a pain in the butt. And you know, I don't want to put that on screen. I don't want to watch this. Why would you? And I come back and use a little bit more of the French assets, because why would they only be in one block? Why not put them in multiple blocks? Because they are really good looking assets. I'm really liking these. They're pretty sweet. I most certainly do plan on using these French style apartment buildings more often throughout this build. They fit the theme of Cadence very well, and they stand out and they're unique, which is kind of a rare combination to get, of something being unique while also blending in. And here I'm beginning the task of filling in some of the more awkwardly shaped lots we've made for ourselves, because I had to have a train yard in the middle of the city. I don't regret that decision. I think it's going to look cool when things fill in around it. But that does present me with a bit of a challenge. So I try to be creative with what we do on these lots here. So I place my buildings to get some housing on the street. And then with a mixture of surface tool and vegetation, I fill in the lot and make it make some sense. No building was going to fit that lot perfectly. We don't have good angular buildings yet on the workshop like we did in Skylines 1. Because I know in Skylines 1, I had multiple assets that were like 45 degrees, 135, just various degrees that could fill in the lots. pretty seamlessly and with little effort to the builder. So we just don't have that yet, so we got to make do. But I think I do a pretty good job of making do. Using a mixture of Platter and some Platter Growables, I find buildings that fit onto the lot very well. And then with surfaces and decals, you can fill in any space essentially in this game, and it always is going to look good. So we just fill in a few of these awkward spaces to the best of our ability, call it a day and move on. They still end up looking good, so I'm not mad about it at all. And then here I added in one more school. This is the urban, I think it's the Urban Promenade High School, and it looks pretty good. No real rhyme or reason why I did this. I just thought the building would look cool sitting there. So I went ahead and placed it. And also, if you think about it, we're going to have a massive population swell soon because of all the buildings I placed against my better judgment. So we're going to have a lot of kids coming into the area. And then right there, I spent a lot of time trying to get the lines and the surface tool to work to make this parking lot look decent. And it doesn't really start to look decent until I put down the tire marks, in my opinion. Once I put those down and then fill in the trees and everything around it, it looks a lot better. You know, building parking lots is always a struggle for me in this game, because the lots they give you in-game, like the vanilla lots, they're fine if you're building a straightforward city, but parking lots are typically not just squares. They can be all sorts of different shapes, so it takes a little bit of fine-tuning, but you get there. And full transparency, at this point in the build, I was really tired and fatigued, so I just kind of started putting things in that looked good and made sense. But this building right here, this is the media tower. It's under the telecoms, and I love the look of this tower. It fits into this space pretty well. It's not too tall, but it's not too short. It's Goldilocks. It's just right. So it's going to look good, especially when we start doing our cinematics to end the episode off. So it fits in, and I like it. It looks really good front or back. And then I spent some time doing some detail work with the surfaces up front and gave it a little pond, or a reflection pool is a better term. And then I finished things off using Platter just to fill everything in, because like I said, I was pretty fatigued by this point, and I kind of just wanted to get things done. This is at the point of the build where things are no longer that interesting. So, you know, you just sometimes got to get work done. You just got to do what you got to do. But that's enough commentary. I will see you guys in the live play review in just a few short minutes. Alrighty guys, so with the completion of the time lapse, that brings us to the end of this episode. And yeah, I think it turned out really well, especially from this view. You'd have no idea from this picturesque view that the rest of the city is very, very empty in a giant void. But it will get filled in gradually. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and we will eventually get there. So I am happy with the way things are turning out. It's looking good. I'm pretty excited for where the city is going, even though it's taking me forever to get there. So I've also let the simulation play out a little bit, and things are working. The only issue we have, which the icon hasn't popped up yet, but I'm sure it will, is right here a whole bunch of traffic is moving in, because what happens when you build like I do, you place all these residential buildings, and the game just floods all the people in at once. They don't gradually move in. So just let this go for a little while. Every once in a while, we'll have to come with a better bulldozer and remove a broken vehicle, but it's not that big a deal. And this is going to work itself out over time, I promise. So let's go ahead and review what we got built in this episode. And I first want to comment my main focus on building in this area, so these neighborhoods and probably all the way out to the water's edge. I'm really focusing in on the density and the height of the buildings. I don't want anything too tall, So these skyscrapers are built in right here, like the 62 Wood Street building and this Petropus. Wow, what a name. Those are probably about the max height I want for this area. Maybe I'll sprinkle in a few skyscrapers that are taller than that throughout this area, but I don't want this to be the main focus of the skyline for the city. This is mostly a residential area, so that's the focus going forward. Also, I do want to comment that these live play spots I built, I'm leaving them in place and going to build around them as much as I possibly can. So that work is not just going to go out the window. It is benefiting us going forward. I had a lot of fun building most of those, and you guys got to see in real time kind of how I build things, because it's hard to tell from time lapses. Which brings up the question, if you guys could answer in the comments below, do you prefer live plays or do you prefer time lapses? Because I could see it going either way. With a live play, I feel they are way more entertaining and informative because I can watch what they're doing and the creator makes comments as they go, so I can kind of learn. But the time lapse, you get way more done and I can fit way more detail because then the episodes aren't hours long. So let me know in the comments below. But before we call it a day, I think we need to name this neighborhood, and to do that, I'm going to back out a little bit. And we're going to use our district tools to name it out. So what I do, if you're new to the channel, what I do is I have a giant district for this entire island, which we're calling a borough, and it is Roxbourough. So I have this giant district, and then I just name areas in it. And the theme for Roxborough's neighborhoods are all classic and or big name rock musicians or bands. They don't have to be classic rock, but that's kind of what I've been going with. So we have Beetleton and Zeppelin Heights up here. So this place is going to need a name, and I'm going to kick it over to you guys for that. Just frame this in real quick. There we go. So right now it's Archer Square. What I want you guys to do is come up with a decent name that is rock themed, and leave it in the comments below. Please name me right now. Do it. Okay, so I'll give it an episode or two to see if you guys can come up with a decent name, and if it's acceptable, and I don't care if it's really that appropriate, as long as it fits the theme, it'll get named that more than likely. But I don't get a lot of comments, so if you make one, it's a very good chance you're going to get your comment used. So that is more or less the episode. I'll do a quick little cinematics to end things out, and yeah guys, that's the episode. Thanks for sticking with me through this whole thing, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.